Russian troops in temporarily occupied Crimea are trying to hide their air defense equipment. For this purpose, they have started building protective screens on the peninsula's motorways, the attached guerrilla movement has reported.
The reason for this was the successful strikes of the Ukrainian armed forces, which resulted in the destruction of air defense equipment. This is the result of the work not only of the Ukrainian forces but also of Crimeans, who actively shared information about the location of the occupants' military equipment. We know that the Russians are planning to build many barrier structures on the highways of Crimea in the near future, from the message of the guerrilla movement attached on Telegram.
Also, according to the attached movement, the Russians are moving air defense systems from Russian-occupied Mariupol to Crimea.
There are known cases of withdrawal of air defense systems from other border territories, including the Far East, but also the introduction of still experimental models of next-generation systems. That is how they are trying to compensate for the loss of air defense systems. It is not easy for them to do this, but Crimea remains their priority. Andriy Yusov, representative of the main intelligence directorate of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, in a comment to Suspilne Crimea.
The threat to the Russian fleet in the Black Sea is more than obvious, experts have said. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion, the armed forces of Ukraine have destroyed more than a third of the ships of the Russian Black Sea fleet, Forbes has reported. The Russian occupants are withdrawing their ships to the safer places and are actively mining the harbor near the Novorossiysk seaport.
Our defense forces know how to get close to critical facilities. They know how to neutralize the enemy's defenses, especially as we are getting more and more weapons from Western countries. And the fact that restrictions on the range of strikes have been lifted allows us to use them even more effectively.
According to the Center for Strategic Communications of the Defense Forces of Northern Ukraine, Russian troops can reload submarines in Novorossiysk without returning to their base location in Russian-occupied Sevastopol. They used to keep more than 10 ships and boat units around the Kerch Bridge. Now they are withdrawing these ships for fear of losing them.
There are now no ships in the northern Black Sea. The enemy is hesitant, they are demoralized. They have learned serious lessons after the attacks on their big ships in the first quarter of this year, when they lost a large vessel every week. Now they are trying not to keep their ships at sea as much as possible.
The priority targets of the Ukrainian defense forces in the Russian-occupied Crimea are air defense systems, airfields, military bases and warehouses, ship bases and logistics of the occupants. The Kremlin has no reason to expect the Ukrainian armed forces will stop destroying military facilities on the Russian-occupied peninsula. According to Andriy Yusov, a representative of the main intelligence directorate of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, there are no safe places for Russian occupiers in Crimea. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.